Morning. Hey, happy Monday. It is November 16th, and if you're watching this, odds are you either had something come up today where you couldn't make it to class, or you blew away in the wind yesterday and are just now returning to civilization from wherever you ended up. Holy man, was it windy when I woke up yesterday. So, hey, welcome to another week. A couple of quick things before we get rolling. First thing, don't forget it is a 5-day week. Next week, you've only got 2 days with Thanksgiving rolling in there. A nice 5-day weekend to take a break and get some rest and not have to worry about any schoolwork. Hopefully, you won't have to worry about any schoolwork for me, I promise. And just recharge those batteries. I know these school days aren't long, but I know that they take a lot out of you. I really, really do. And so I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to know that. So if you're watching this, you obviously didn't make it to class today, or I said something confusing. I don't know how I could do that today, but if that's the case, cue in for this. Please reach out if you have questions. I'd be more than happy to help you out if that's the case. Love to make sure you're getting in what you need to get in. Okay, so I'm going to run you through just kind of what we talked today. Today was really kind of the intro to a new unit. We went through the goals were really the big thing we did. And, as we're going today, the big thing is going to be running you through the assignment that I left for you in classroom. Okay. All right. So goals for today. First, some updates. First of all, homework from last week. The crash course chapter 1 was due on, what was that due Thursday? Yeah, that was due Thursday. So if you didn't get that done, make sure you do. I'm going to be entering those in the grade book in the next couple of days here. Probably middle of this week, I'm going to send out some parents to emails of people that aren't doing anything. So if you don't want to be on that email list, please make sure and be getting that thing into me. It's a 10.5 minute video, and you got about 9 questions this week. There's something similar, but make sure you're doing your work. Tests. On Friday last week, we took a test. Those are probably about 75% of the way graded. I hope to finish those today as well and get those in the grade book for you. I'll let you know in class when that happens. I'm shooting for Tuesday morning at the latest. I will also do an overall grade update, like a kind of post where people can see your grade. I'll do that after every unit that we do. Again, I'm going to send out those parent emails soon. So if you owe me things, get them done. If you didn't take the test last week, the link is actually in Classroom under in case you missed it for Friday. So make sure you double check that. Here's the schedule for this week. We have 5 days this week. We are going to do kind of unit kickoff today and get your assignment for the week, which is going to be due on Thursday. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about ethics in experimentation, and we're going to kind of talk about the impact of that. We may do some small group stuff with that. On Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to work through some of the science of psych and also parts of an experiment. On Friday, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of do a little quick review together, and then we're going to have a quiz on parts of an experiment and things like that. Again, the assignment that is in Classroom for you today is going to be due on Thursday by midnight. Next week, we've only got 2 days. We'll talk about that next week. All right. So today, what we're going to do is we're really going to kind of look at the unit objectives for this one, and and I'll give you guys, anytime you have allotted for psych today, you can work on the assignment that's due later this week. So here we go. So unit 2 is called the methods of psych, and basically what we're going to do in this one is laid out on the next slide, or the goals. But long story short, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how psychologists collect data. We're going to look at the ethical practices of how scientists, run experiments, on how surveys and interviews work, cross-sectional, longitudinal, psychological tests, case studies, naturalistic observations, and then we're gonna look at the strengths and weaknesses of those things as well. So the goals for this unit, things that I absolutely want you to be able to do. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong slide. Things that I really want you to do. And again, this is a good place to start. You might want to write these down. I don't know. We'll see. Is that the first thing we're going to do is we're going to evaluate ethical practices in psychological studies. We're going to talk about what ethics are, and we're going to talk about some of the big ideas or rules of ethics that you see psychologists observe. And there is a lot to ethics when it comes to psychology, but we're going to try to break it down to some of the major rules that impact all areas of science and scientific testing. We're not going to go through every little situation. We will though work through some hypotheticals with these. Okay. The next topic is going to be that we're going to discuss the importance of psychology as a science, why it's important to use science and not just work off intuition, guesses, and observations, and how the idea of an observation can be useful, but when it comes down to it, you don't know for sure. All right, we're going to define the term placebo. We're going to talk about how placebos are used in studies. We'll talk a little bit maybe about like a headache medication study or a migraine study or something when we talk about placebos, because we want to be able to use a placebo in science. We want to also talk about the placebo effect and how that can throw things off a little bit. The next thing is probably the big thing in the unit, and hopefully for some of you guys this is going to be a review, and that's that we're going to discuss experimental design. We're going to talk about hypothesis. Well, who are going to be appropriate subjects in your test? What's the independent variable? What's the dependent variable? What's the control group getting? What's the experimental group getting? And how are we going to ensure validity? Okay. Now, if that all sounded really familiar to you already, this end of this week should be really simple. Should hopefully be a review. If everything I just said sounded like gobbledygook, I think I do a pretty good job running people through this. I'm pretty sure you'll get it. Okay, that'll be the topic of our quiz on Friday. Last but not least, next week, 2 days, we're going to start looking at other data collection methods. We're going to talk about what those data collections are. How they work, like how you would set up a survey, how you would do an interview, what's a case study. But then we're also going to talk about their strengths and weaknesses. And the reason why we want to know about the strengths and weaknesses is it gives you a good idea of when and how to use them. Okay. And that's really going to be the unit. It's going to be kind of a quick one. The next one on the brain is not going to be a quick one. And so we want to make sure we're getting through this in a timely manner. Again, that's it for today. Please get going on the assignment. It's listed in Classroom along with this, or down below this, actually. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I hope you're having a great Monday. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.